Welcome back to Bicycle Garage. We need to pick the pace up on the Chevelle back here, so Tom's here to help. Today we're going to try to get the whole front clip off the car and even pull the engine and transmission out, which probably means we'll give up around lunchtime, but you know, we're going to try. I'm actually pretty excited about today because Tom's going to do all the work and I'm just going to keep my throat lubricated basically. What the plan is, if then we had one, we're going to snip this bumper off and then we'll get all these bolts out of the front clip. There's down here, up here, and then, you know, there's supposed to be two down here. Ouch! There's stuff. And then we're going to try to snip this whole clip off in one unit, and then we don't have to deal with taking all this stuff apart. Everything's so rusty on here that the less we can touch the better. And then we're even going to try to snip this old engine out of here, and if we're super optimistic, we're going to get the air box out of this. And I need that for a Chevelle wagon project coming up. And I kept the other AC stuff as well. It's all probably really bad, but I'm going to still try to use it. Everything is just, you know, rusted up. These two down here, I've already spinning the nuts on the backside, and the other one's pretty much impossible to get to, so I think I'm just going to take the gas axe on this side and just, you know, snip those off. Broken ratchet, and 6,000 degrees later, you know, we're still working on this bolt. Should I do something now, or?
No.
Give her the bean.
It didn't round off ahead. Turn.
I just can't see nothing. Hold on a second. Oh, there it is. Alright. Get out of here. Guy already had this body mount bolt out fixing the frame. So we just got that one over there. Then we just got to get the electrode digicals out of here, which is pretty easy. And this harness just goes back to the bulkhead connector. And we'll just kind of whip that up over the car. And then we're on to the fenders. Do I get mad over there, or what's going on?
I really cut this bolt up.
Put it in vise and then we'll find out.
Where's your voice at?
It's over there in the, you know, the paint booth room. I'm Tom Bodette. Well, we're working on a clip here, and I think I found the exhaust manifold bolt someone lost, I don't know how many years ago. But when I torched this off, I kind of welded her on. Got to hit her one more time, then I think we're ready. Because we got jigglage here, we got jigglage there, and we got some lift off too. So I think just that one bolt. That's ready to rock. Just like that. And then kind of these are in the pile. Nice. While we're in this far, I think the guys can go ahead and thin this out. So Tom's going to take off the AC assembly and blower motor, and then I'm going to dig through the digital harnesses here and try to just, you know, thin the herd down to what we need, which is basically the whirler charger, the starter, and the battery cables. Of course, your power to the distributor, but all this stuff here, you know, we can just snip and tuck. that stuff. I think I'll get the wiper motor out of here, because I don't plan on riding in some rain, I guess. So, it's not rusty there. I got the electrotronicals thinned down, and I think Tom's ready to pull this out of here. Nice. And then maybe we'll patch that up. Probably not. But the MSD box and stuff can go in here now. Oh, that looks, you know.
That's why your AC didn't work.
Tom's back there pulling the drive shaft out. Yeah, and I'm prepping the engine here to get this to, you know, snag out on us. I'm getting pretty close. Motor mounts are next. And I might pull the distributor out just so we don't, you know, smash her into the firewall. And then I noticed this. You put a little weight on here. You know, there really is no connection between these two. And that's going to be nice when we put that harness bar in there to keep this from just, you know, sliding off the frame. And I probably might address that, most likely not. Yeah, once we get this plopped out, I think we'll take all the old brake lines off and clean up these horns. Maybe even, probably not either. And then we'll actually get to tearing this thing down and see what's going on with that camshaft. I'm really curious. Remember we had some issues on this side mostly. Probably thinking the cam lobes are starting to wear off on that old girl. Here we go. Wow. Well, I can't see nothing, Tom. Wow. Is this a different size? The torque twister tube 200 is off. Looks like a Tales from the Crypt scene down there. I pulled the pan out to look at it and there's a ton of material in there. So I'm just going to put it back and pretend I didn't see that. We got the trans cross member pushed back. Oh, that's unbolted. Reposition one of the jack stands up here. We'll get in here and snag on it. I think we're ready just to flop this out. I did pull the Dizzy. She was, you know, she's pretty tight in there. You can get them out with them in, but sometimes if you gotta get them rocking, then they'll get smashed in there. I'm gonna try the backer one since we got some weight with the trans.
Yeah.
Broken motor mount. That's nice.
Just a little more and you'll be off that cross member. There you go.
We snagging her hanging?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Why don't you give her a skosh of upper? Whoa! No, you can go more than that. There we go. Go ahead, tug. A little bit more up. Keep going. Okay.
On that jack stand.
Wow. Tom's gonna get these two separated and we'll throw that up on the stand. Yeah, and we got some squishage here. She's rubbing, but I'm fairly certain that had everything to do with the broken motor mount. But standing from this angle, you can see this is bent back here, and that's where she was rubbing, up in here. And now that I'm looking at it and thinking, I bet what happened is that ball joint failed. The tire swung all the way out, which is what created that dent in the lower A-arm there. And it swung out so hard that it pulled the tie rod and forced this back, and that's why this has such a sharp bend in it. So if I just replace this, I think we're going to get our steering back. I had once thought maybe this was bent up, or sometimes they get rusted or rotted in here, and that's a mess, but this is solid. I cleaned this up a little bit and that looks fine. This one looks fine. So I think that's all there is. So we'll get this engine mounted up here on the stand, and then we can pull the cam out and see what it's telling us. We got the engine pushed back in the high performance engine room, also known as the only place I have room to put it. And Tom's taking the intake, valve covers, we got the water pump off. Gotta find my pulley puller outer, and then we'll start getting into the goodies. How good's the timing chain? We'll get to look in the valley, see if we got any lifter damage, and then finally we'll get this cam out. I'm actually pretty interested to see what that looks like. Never! Give her heck, Tom. Well, nothing super obvious yet. I guess we'll get these lifters out. You know, we'll pull the timing chain off her and see what we find. It's actually pretty clean in there, to be honest. I was not expecting that. There's that gasket. This is why I don't use these gaskets. They always do this. And this one didn't have any goop in the corners. Probably difficult for you to see, but there's pretty heavy pitting in this, and then you can start seeing those rings in it. So this one was getting away from us, and that was an intake lifter, and we had one over here in the exhaust as well. But this isn't bad enough to cause a rough idle issue. And I went down the old intake gasket closure downers, and I didn't see any issues between any of this. It does have a Cloyes class, Cloyes? Anyway, it's a nice little affordable double roller on it, and a play in there. That was fine. Not seeing any markings on the camshaft yet, so I'm going to get this out of here and see if there's any markings on the other end. I know it has a little bit of a cam in it. I'm just curious as to see what kind. And then Tom, he's dropping the old oil pan off her, so we can see if she's a 2 or 4 bolt. And then we might pull the heads if the cam looks okay, because then I'm down to maybe a burnt valve or something like that. But well, I spontaneously decided to pull the drain plug out of the block because she was empty, you know. And then 79 gallons of coolant came out. For you Canadians, that's like 914 liters. It just wouldn't stop. You good? Oh, you got one over here.
One on that side.
Wow. There we go. She's a 4-bolter. I'll be dipped. That's rare. I've had a bajillion of these 0010 blocks and maybe only a couple 4-bolters. This is a nice little engine. Nice. Well, I guess we'll finish pulling the cam out. Something wrong. The oil pickup screen. Yeah, she's just laying in the pan down here. Of course, them are normally affixed to the pump up here. And not on it. Must be some sort of high performance modification. Noise check!
Nine 709.
965709, yep.
Alright, we'll check.
We interwebbed this and couldn't find it, so if you can, bleep bloop it down below. But the number is 965709, and there's no company marking, so it's some, you know, I don't know, AutoZone or Napa or one of those maybe. I'm not sure, but if you know that number, put it down in the comments with the specs. I'd be interested to know. And here we go. We got some smoked lobes for sure right there. And then we've definitely got some toasted cam bearings. I mean, these things I can just see from looking at the cam, but definitely just looking at the front one. Cam bearings are also shot, but overall, nice buildable engine. It's a 4-bolt and pretty dang clean. So I can clean this up here without running it to the machine shop. Maybe just dingle ball hone her and jam some rings in her and some cam bearings and main bearings and stick it back together.
One more snap.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We actually got done what we said we were going to do, which that's rare. We're that productive. So actually Tom just did everything mainly, and I leaned on a broom. So that was nice. Tomorrow we're going to strip the interior out, and we're actually going to put a harness bar in. So stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, please do that. And thanks for watching as always.